Hi everyone, Bernard here. I hope you're all very well and you're joining me for today for a little movie review. And I don't think I've done one of these since I started these vlogs. A little sort of based on a religious event, this one, which I do like my sort of dramas. I'm not a religious person myself, and obviously these sort of things that happen, I try and look at it from a neutral point of view, etc., and sort of look at these as dramas. I mean, obviously I'm talking about where there's a miracle happened, obviously in the past, and we're looking at a film today called Fatima. Please, if you're new to the channel, push that old subscribe button, push the bell notification so you know all these little vlogs are coming out. Yeah, I mean, I watched a film, the Miracle of Our Lady Fatima, in 1952. I actually stock it on in my little shop. We don't have copies at the moment because I'm having trouble getting stock just with the current COVID thing. But yeah, it's a film I've sold many copies of over the years, and it was a good little film. I've watched it a couple of times. I've enjoyed the film. So we've got a new updated version now. And obviously it's sort of a little bit of disdain from people because it's all set in Portugal, but obviously it's done with British American actors, so they're all using slight accents, and a lot of people don't like that. I mean, it doesn't bother me at the end of the day. It's either that or subtitles, isn't it, with Portuguese actors, etc., etc. But yeah, so that's caused a bit of problem. It's a PG rating, an hour and 53 minutes. So say it's. I read it as an hour and 13 first of all. I thought, well, that's not going to do it justice. But yeah, it's an hour and 53 minutes. It's classed as a biographical drama. It's based, of course, as I said, on the historical events of three young shepherds in Fatima, Portugal, who report visions of the Virgin Mary, inspiring believers and angering officials of the church and the government who try to force them to recount their story. Yeah, I mean, if you go on... It's something I've read up on a couple of times. Having watched the film, I went back and read up on Wikipedia and various sites just to have a look and looked at the various images. It's quite an interesting story. So if you watch the film and you're interested in it, it's the sort of thing you go back and check up on as well. Or, well, I do anyway. So, I mean, it's the sort of thing you have a look into and just find out a little bit more about it. Directed by Marco Pontecorvo, stars Joachim de Almeida, Goran Visnich and Stephanie Gill. And as I said, it was entirely shot in Portugal, which is good. Is it any good as a film? Well, Rotten Tomatoes quite like it. It's 64% positivity rating with an average score of 6.5 out of 10. That's 18 fresh and 10 rotten. So there's quite a lot of not totally happy with it. 18 fresh and 10 rotten. The audience score is 90%. That's based on 21 ratings. So the audience seem to like it. The consensus on Rotten Tomatoes reads, hard not to respect but difficult to love. Fatima competently dramatises an incredible true story. Metacritic didn't like it as much. The Metascore rating, it's only getting a 52% rating on there, which isn't good, and it scores anywhere between 3.8 out of 10 and the highest is just 7.5 out of 10. The New York Times is Ben Kenningsberg. He gave it 4 out of 10, so he didn't like it, and went on to say, while the film may speak to viewers with a spiritual investment in these events, it does little to bring them alive for others. Chicago Sun-Times' Richard Roeper, R-O-E-P-R, I was going to say Roper, but it's R with an E, I went Roper, went all posh. Richard Roper, a 7.5 out of 10, he liked it. In the flourishing genre of the faith-based movies, this is one of the better efforts we've seen. Yeah, Internet Movie Database, Joe User, you and me, the public, 6.3 out of 10, so that's not too bad. It was 6.2 yesterday. I had a quick look before I started to do this vlog. I'm doing this on the 3rd of September 2020. That's based on 449 ratings, so some more people might have just pushed it up a little bit there. They must have liked it a little bit more. Some of the comments in Internet Movie Database from the users: uplifting, a definite must-see for those of the Catholic faith, no harm done here, a classic. The story of Fatima told in a beautiful film production. So a lot of positivity on a 6.3. There's got to be some negatives somewhere. Wonderful, relevant, true story. Compelling and touching tribute to Our Lady. And then we get the worst Fatima movie ever made. The 1952 version is better. Well, I didn't write it, but I agree with it. And highly inaccurate. So yeah, we finished off with some of the negatives there after all the niceness of the positivity of the first couple there. Right, moviegamenostalgia.com. Yeah, as I said, I've watched the 1952 version at least a couple of times over the years. and it scores 6.8 out of 10 on IMDb, so it's a little bit higher than this one. And I would say that's probably about right for the original, 6.8 out of 10. I'm not going to argue with that. I'll be anywhere between 6.5 and 7 out of 10 on the original, so I would agree with that. I mean, this is scoring slightly lower, obviously. Without, if you've never seen the 1952 version, again, I'm not going to say, yeah, go out and get this. I would say seek that out if you can still watch it. As I say, it is a DVD I've sold many copies of over the years, so it is still quite popular, and it's certainly well done. It's certainly a great film. So without seeing the 1952 version, I probably would have liked it a little bit more, but as a watch, it's not noticeably, to me anyway, superior to the 60-year-old version. Even though obviously there's a little bit of, I won't even say there's better special effects, particularly in this one. I'll go on to that in a moment, but no, I still think it sort of lags behind the 1952 version, which is 60 years, but I would still probably go with that one, to be honest with you. As I said, I'm not religious, but I find the backstory very interesting, and likewise can enjoy this new Fatima as an interesting drama without putting any too much religious connotations on it. I'm sure people who do believe in that sort of thing will gain perhaps more out of it. I just watched the film as entertainment. I watched the film as a drama. And of course, in these troubled times, I mean, we're not having the greatest of time with these sort of films. Are nice to see, aren't they? I mean, this faith-based offering is getting a lot of love out there because it is a little bit something nice to watch in these COVID times, these times when it's not great out there, is it, generally? And people are feeling a little bit wrong, little down. So this is getting a lot of love, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, to put a film out there, but I'm trying to be critical as well. I'm trying to point in the right direction. I mean, because I felt personally the film played it a little safe compared to the. Again, I'm going to make comparisons to the older version. There seemed to be a more sense of pressure being put on the children in the older version to recant their visions of the obviously the lady they see, and obviously I assume it's the Virgin Mary. I'm not too sure what I think it is. They don't call her that. They call her something else, but I'm sure it is. So obviously there seemed to be a bit more pressure in the original. It doesn't seem, there is a bit in this, but it doesn't seem to be as intense as it was in the original. And the modern version, this modern version feels a little bit kinder and lighter. So again, it's sort of just treading on it without being over the top, because I think the young children did get quite a lot of pressure put on them to recant this, to say this vision was false, they were lying, etc, etc. And this film does touch upon it, but obviously not in too deep a way. And I think it was more in the original you felt that pressure on the children, which you don't really feel it with this one, to be honest with you. It's an okay movie. I mean, the 2 hours passes relatively quickly. It's well shot, well acted. And again, where it feels a bit of a letdown to me is the climax. The climax to the film is the climax to the whole story. And it feels a little unimpressive in this new version. This is where, it just, for a modern version, I would have thought the CGI, I would have thought the special effects would be a little bit better. It just felt very anticlimactic, this new version. It didn't in the original. Again, I'm sorry to harp on, but I can only make comparisons, and if I've encouraged you to go and watch the original, please do so, or watch both. I mean, I will gladly, if someone said to me, if you want to watch one again, I'd probably watch the original again, but there's no harm in watching both, is there? They're both done very, very well. So yeah, I was still very unimpressed with the climax to this film. So again, it was a sense they could have done better, but whether it's a budget limitation, I'm not too sure. There was obviously quite a lot of money spent on this, but generally everything was okay. It was just, again, the whole point of this miracle, the whole point of this story is that final climatic thing that obviously thousands of people are supposed to have witnessed. So I just don't think it was done very well in this new version. So anyway, it's not bad, but it's not as good as I was hoping and anticipated with the story. I don't think they fully covered everything about the story. There's a lot of comments from people saying they didn't do this and they didn't do that. So again, it's bits they've missed out in an hour and 54-minute film, which you probably could have put in, because there's a lot of filler in there as well. I mean, there's a lot of time and not much happens in there. There's a lot of reading out, and it's very sad of obviously there's a lot of reading out of people who died in battle, etc. and obviously you get 3 or 4 scenes of the same thing, which is it's fair enough, but you think in that they could have introduced something else as well. So I think there's a little bit of a missed opportunity, to be honest with you, because you don't get many of these faith-based films coming out that have had a sort of Hollywood feel to them. So I did feel it was a bit of a letdown compared to what they could have done. My little rating, as I said, well, if I was going to give the original anywhere between 6.5 and 7, I don't think this is as good, but I am going to give it the basic watchable rating. It is certainly a watchable film, and as I say, more watchable if you've not watched. Sorry to harp on about the original, but obviously it is more watchable if you've not seen the original. But as I said, I've been a bit spoilt because I have seen the original on 2 or 3 occasions over the years. So yeah, 6 out of 10 I'm going to give it, so I'm not going to put you off. If you want something nice, a good faith film to watch, a apparent true story, whatever you make of that, again, as you say, go and read up on it, go and find out about it. 6 out of 10. The poster, yeah, well, it's a nice image of the 3 shepherd children, isn't it? But not much more. Again, it's a bit of a letdown. It could have been better like the film, in my opinion. I'm not going to score it as high as the film either. I think there could have been a bit more of the holy element to the poster, because that's what it's about, isn't it? Let's have a bit more of the cross, etc., etc. And perhaps the altar could have, a big altar could have been on it, or modernised it with perhaps the modern thing that's there now as an altar that's there at the moment, and with the kids in the back, something a little bit different. Anyway, I'm waffling on, so it's not. I think they could have done better with the poster, so I'm only going to give the poster 5.5 out of 10. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please, if you watched the film, let me know, and if you have watched both films, let me know what you think. Did you think the original was far better than this one? So one of the reviewers did, didn't they, early on, so that wasn't too bad. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think. Please check my links on screen. Obviously, if you can follow me on Twitter, I follow everyone back on there, and if you friend me on Facebook, I try and friend everyone back on there as well. There's lots of stuff I put on Twitter and Facebook that don't necessarily that I put on a vlog. I mean, there'll be like reviews, etc., that I don't do vlogs for, film reviews, TV drama reviews, and things like that. So obviously, and if you're into football, don't forget I do the Manchester City vlogs. That's my team in England. So if you've any interest in that, or know anyone with any interest in that, please point them in my direction. And my little shop, where I don't have Miracle of the Lady Fatima, unfortunately, at the moment, but I will plan to get it back in stock when I can get my deliveries up and running. It's a bit sporadic at the moment. I'm losing things left, right and centre with UK customs, but there you go. MovieGameNostalgia.com for old rare DVDs, movie posters from the 90s, 2000s, and board games on there as well. Absolutely fantastic. Anyway, thanks for watching today. Please, until you join me for another little movie review, TV drama review, or information vlog, or a special. I did a special the other day on a new TV drama series with a look back at the books it was based on and the old series, etc., etc. I do these little specials every now and then anyway as well. If you're interested in that, please, hopefully we'll see each other again on one of those. So whatever you got to do, please stay safe, everyone. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your family. More importantly, let's all look after each other. And I'll join you again, hopefully, very soon. This is Bernie saying goodbye for now. Thanks for watching.